Relationship advice. Wife cheated and is telling our friends I'm a stalker. So, I caught my wife cheating with her boss about 1.5 years ago. Nothing too concrete, but calling and texting with your married boss on weekend nights at 2 to 3 a.m. is definitely suspect. 2 weeks ago she told me she was going to an after-work mixer as she is a marketing rep at her company. I don't like her going to these as she had to go with her boss and there is always drinking involved. I had a bad feeling about this night and for the first time ever I drive to the event just to see if she drove there herself. She told me she wouldn't be drinking and she was taking her own car and not riding with boss. I get there and her car is not at event but the married boss's is, so I know she is lying. I'm about to leave as the event has another hour to go and I see them coming outside. They leave and like a pie I follow to see if they go anywhere else. They pull into a restaurant/bar and they sit in his parked car for like 25 minutes. I am texting her during this and she says she is still at event, not drinking and had her own car. I bust her and she cries and apologizes and I keep my cool. Then the next day a mutual friend texts her to ask how we are doing and she texts back that we are not doing good, that I'm acting crazy and that I followed her to an event. No mention of the real story. So, am I being a stalker? I think I could get over infidelity but her twisting the truth to make me look like a stalker is unforgivable. Should I tell all our friends the real story? I'm sure she had told everyone else the same story. I come out looking like an idiot with mental problems and she comes out looking like the abused wife. Should I tell or just let it go? We are divorcing, by the way. Now for the top advice. You are divorcing, and are not obligated to keep her secrets from anyone. Blow her crap up, blow up the AP as well. Scorched earth. Exactly, blow that crap up. Tell them. Now. You owe her nothing. Talk to a lawyer or paralegal. She might do something that will affect the divorce outcome. Paralegals legally cannot give legal advice to clients. Just saying. But get in touch with lawyer, yesterday. Nothing better than the truth. Just say it matter of fact and keep emotions out of it. Stay cool and do not trash her to the friends. They will see she is the crazy one. This is the way. Second story. My 38 male wife, 38 female, is still in touch with the guy she cheated with. I gave in yet again to the temptation and I went through her phone records. We were just talking about building a home together. She seemed like she really wants a life with me, but this is insane. I thought this was over months ago after almost 4 years from suspicion to proof to, please forgive me, I won't do it again, to I was just calling him to connect him with some other contact he had lost. 2. It was just one call in a moment of weakness, till now. If I don't find the will to end things, then I don't know what will. What scares me is that I don't want to end things even though I know that I must. We even had 2 more kids since the incident. I recently had 2 whole weeks with her after the kids went to spend time with their grandmother for the duration of the pandemic lockdown. It was like a second honeymoon. I thought we had connected again and made our bond stronger. Now this. 3 times and I endured through it all thinking we could overcome this. Now, all I'm thinking of is finding out a way to get the content of all the calls and SMSs she's been sending this guy for the last 3 months on and off. At the same time, I'm baffled. Why would she waste her time with me if she knows she doesn't love me? Guys, help me. The more I think about it, the more like a piece of crap I feel even though she's the one cheating. Or sending messages and calls. I don't know. Now for the top advice. And now that you have a very clear answer on where her priorities are, take that knowledge to your lawyer and start calling her ex-wife. Better paternity test those kids. Damn. You're 100% right though. The thought did cross my mind, but I look at the kids and they all look like me. I know this is not evidence per se, but because of how remote our place is, and considering the times we have been apart for more than 24 hours where I've had to leave on business, the dates don't add up to any of those kids not being mine. I'll do the test though. Do a test, but let her know you want the tests. If she asks why, tell her what you know. Why would she waste her time with me if she knows she doesn't love me? This is going to hurt, but you need to hear it. She's been getting to F anyone she wants and keep you as her financial safety net. She may not love you, but she does enjoy the life you give her, and you've shown her thus far that you will let her get away with it. All she's had to do is spout off another empty promise, and you believe her because you want to believe her. She is never going to be faithful to you. Ever. You not only need to leave, you need to get paternity tests on your kids. Well, I must admit, Until recently, our life hasn't been the easiest financially. My income is sporadic. I am taking steps to rectify this, but the journey has been 12 years. Now for the last story. Updated, my 22 male girlfriend, 24 female, of 6 years was texting/flirting with another man and I confronted her about it. Original story: I'm not usually a jealous type, but just a few weeks ago my girlfriend of 6 years revealed that she had realized that her feelings for me had become complicated and that she needed time to get back on track in our relationship. I am extremely supportive of her and want her to be happy, so although this really hurt me, I am making every effort I can to hold on to what we have and to help her get back to where I am in this relationship. This was clearly a gut punch to my self-confidence and my confidence in our relationship, which I viewed as rock solid until then, so I have been very much on edge, and attentive to any signs that she's moving farther away from me rather than getting closer. When I was laying in bed with her the other day I noticed a name that I didn't recognize that was a guy. This was unusual since we for the most part know each other's friends and whatnot, so it threw me off. I believe that it's one of her new neighbors since she just recently moved into a new apartment, but nonetheless this really bothered me. I know I shouldn't dig into things or go snooping, but given the state of everything she had told me, I felt that I had no choice but to click in and read what the context was. I'm ashamed I did this, but I am in such a state of unrest that it was hard to resist. So when she left the room I check it out, and although the conversation is brief, she was the one who initially reached out to him and then it looked like she asked him to hang out, to which he actually said no because he was busy. It went on to show her texting him and multiple times with no reply and even teasing him about how he's a bad texter. I know this doesn't seem like much, but to me it feels like this is unacceptable for her not to tell me about. I want to ask her about it, but I'm fearful that addressing this will just push her father away. What do I do? Am I overreacting about this? Now for the top advice of the first post. Her feelings became complicated? Let's woman-splain that. She is confused because after 6 years, she is on the prowl again. Save yourself the heartache now. She has already made up her mind and is simply waiting for when it is convenient for her to break up with you. The way she explains it, I hurt her over the course of the past year and she didn't realize it until I left our city for a few weeks. She thinks that she needs time to heal before we can progress. Sounds to me you're in a situation where you're going to end up getting hurt and that your girlfriend is wanting attention elsewhere. Thanks for your reply. This is exactly what I'm worried about, but I am still convinced that this girl is the one and that she just has gotten lost. So you think I can fix this? I would say she may be interested in this guy. I don't know many girls who would constantly text a guy, without reply, unless they were interested. It doesn't seem like he is though. Either way, a relationship is meant to add to your life rather than make you feel insecure, so I would speak to her about the state of affairs because either you stay together and keep acting out of character as you are now and losing confidence and trust, or the relationship ends, or she may have come to different conclusions. I totally believe in giving someone space, but there is a difference between doing that and being strung along. Thanks for your reply. You're right when you say that it should add to my life. This is why I am so conflicted. Until a month ago it was so solid and added to my life in every way. I just feel like now I'm hopeful that things will go back to normal and I'm not sure that's possible. Now for the update. So for context feel free to look at my post history. But the basics are that my girlfriend recently told me that her feelings for me have become complicated. Over the past 2 months things have become increasingly difficult for me as she has seemed to pull away. Fast forward to a week ago. I saw messages on her phone that looked like they were from another guy whose name I didn't recognize. This is super strange because we know all the same people and will typically share almost everything with each other. Eventually I couldn't help myself, so I looked at her phone and to see his conversation, and although it seemed flirtatious, she texted him first and asked him to hang out several times, and also kept texting him even when he didn't reply. It wasn't bad enough in my opinion to confront her. After seeing the responses to my last post here I worked up the courage to dig deeper. I searched her messages for reference of his name and came up with a lot of context from conversations between her and her roommates. She would say things about how she was strategizing what to text him and how she thought she had a crush on him. The worst part was messages that basically were complaints about how this guy would always be free when I wanted to hang out/talk on the phone and how annoying it was. What cut even deeper was that she once was mentioning how she'd refer to me as her friend if he ever asked about who she was busy with. It seems like the only thing that prevented her from acting on these feelings was the fact that he just wasn't interested in her, so I was just so torn, because despite her not cheating physically, she clearly was making every attempt possible. This weekend when I was at her apartment I told her everything. I even went so far as to give her a chance to tell me the truth before revealing what I knew. She basically explained her behavior by saying that her feelings towards him were the reason she was feeling confused and that she felt like she needed to act on it to tell if she really was still in love with me. She says that she realized how much I meant to her and so she stopped pursuing it 2 weeks ago. I think this part is actually true because she hasn't texted or referenced him in over 2 weeks, which aligns with when things started to get better between us. I am emotionally crushed. I know she didn't cheat directly, but she might as well have and I don't know what to do. I want to rebuild trust and work things out so badly, but I don't know if it's possible. What do I do? Now for the top advice. There are books about rebuilding a relationship after infidelity. You could also try couples counseling. But, if you're 22 and 24 and have been together 6 years, it's entirely possible that the relationship that served you well as the kids you were when you got together might not translate into adulthood. This is a good time for both of you to examine where you are and what you want from life and from each other and whether only you're together out of habit. The whole scenario is sketchy. As you pointed out, she would have cheated if you'd been interested. The fact that she stopped trying and claims that she was just checking to see that she really loved you when you're well aware that he rejected her are not great indicators of honesty and faithfulness. Thanks for your suggestions. I have thought a lot about counseling and now I'll be sure to also look into book options. I know that we are young, but we have grown together so much, and I feel like she's such a part of my life that it's impossible for me to imagine my life without her. For the most part we are highly compatible, similar life goals, career goals, interests, beliefs, etc., but I feel like this lack of trust is such a big wrench in the middle that I'm not sure I can get over it. I think she absolutely stopped pursuing it because of his lack of interest, but I am hopeful that me confronting her has knocked some sense into what she would be walking away from and what I provide her with. Since I told her, it seems like the dynamic has already sharply corrected, but I am still skeptical of her intentions and if she's just trying to make me comfortable and trusting so that she can do this all again. Unfortunately, the dynamic is wider than just the two of you. Your story presents evidence that her support group knew she was cheating on you and either accepted or maybe even encouraged it. Is she flushing out all of the low-character friends who she was celebrating her attempted affair with? Are there other concrete changes she is making in her behaviors and actions that might lessen the chances she cheats on you again? Or are you planning on rug sweeping this and trying to be such a good partner she never needs to cheat on you again? I have your same concerns about the friendships that encouraged this behavior. I in no way want to push the blame onto someone else, because even if she was encouraged, she was the one who acted in it, but I am still fearful about letting her maintain these friendships if we are to continue. For more context, she just moved into a new apartment with some mutual acquaintances. She has only been living there for the last 2 months and has been spending a lot of her time with the 3 roommates, all of which are single. I thought they were great people, they seemed to be accepting of my girlfriend and even if I made a point to be as kind and respectful as possible. They all played a part or at least were complacent in her behavior. They were the ones suggesting for her to act on her feelings in a deceitful way. I wish I could get rid of them, but she lives there. I don't know how to handle this at all. That's the end of the video. Don't forget to leave comments below and hit like and subscribe if you like the content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day.